Welcome back to another UFC fight prediction video. In this video, I'll be predicting the prelim fights for UFC Fight Night on ESPN Plus, Jedrzejczyk versus Watterson. So without further ado, let's get to our first fight on the card in our first prelim. So in our first fight, we have a newly introduced fight on the card. We in the lightweight division, Thomas Gifford versus Mike Davis. So looking at this fight on short notice, but let's just look at how these fighters match. I think Mike Davis is the better striker, the better wrestler, and just overall the better fighter, better resume. And I just feel like he's more technical on the feet, more versatile, can introduce more angles, more looks. Thomas Gifford, more straight up and down type of fighter. He's certainly tough. He does have a little bit of a boxing background. Does have some decent counter grappling here and there. But I feel like Mike Davis is going to be able to really dictate the pace on the feet, whether he mixing the takedowns and get those as well. I think he could beat Gifford everywhere. So in this fight, I got Mike Davis via decision. Now on to our next fight we have in the women's flyweight division, Aldrich versus Lauren Mueller. So looking at this fight, I just feel that Aldrich is just better everywhere. Like she's the much better striker. She might not be a grappler, like her background might not be grappling, but she certainly has improved her grappling a lot as far as when she's been in MMA and her MMA career. I feel like she can handle Mueller in the grappling, at least offensively. Maybe not defensively, but as far as if she's on the offense, she's attacking. And even like defending Mueller's grappling, she'll be good. I feel like overall, as far as an MMA realm, she can handle her own in those areas and she can get the advantage in those areas, and especially her striking. I think she's a much better striker than Mueller. More power, more speed, better accuracy everywhere. And just to sum it up, I think she's a better fighter all around. But I think Mueller is a tough fighter. I think she'll be able to make it a decision, but I think it's a clear cut, probably 30-27 or 30-26 for Aldrich. So in this fight, I have Aldrich via decision. Now on to our next fight we have in the middleweight division, Vettori versus Andrew Sanchez. So you got two solid fighters right here. Andrew Sanchez, solid wrestler, grappler. Striking looks good sometimes, but defensively he looks very poor often. Like when he's not throwing strikes or he gets tired, chin be wide up there. When he's even throwing strikes, his chin be up in the air at times. Certainly has a lot of skills and a lot of talent, but that strikingly, like cardio sometimes have an issue, and defensive striking is his biggest glaring issue. In this fight, you got Vettori, power, size, strength. He's also a good wrestler, or you can say just grappler. A lot of power. And I think on the striking aspect, he's much more clean with his striking than Sanchez. Better defensively, better offensively. And then he could take a better punch than Sanchez can as well. So I feel in this fight that it's going to be a good competitive fight early. I feel like I understand it might be a slightly better grappler, wrestler than Vettori. I don't think he'll have too much success with it. I think he can have some success with his wrestling and grappling early. But I feel as the fight wears on, Vettori, this is the much more conditioned fighter, the stronger fighter, much more power, much clean on the striking, and I feel like he's going to start to pressure Andrew Sanchez back. Those hands going to start to dip, and then he's going to start to find those shots over the top and around the guard, or just find those hooks because his name chin going to be wide open. Hands not going to really be in position to defend himself. And really start to tag Sanchez up. And I don't think Sanchez could take too much of Vettori's powers. I mean, his power from his punches. I think he's going to get put away. I think it happens like late in the second round. So in this fight, I have Vettori via second round TKO. Now on to our next fight we have in the welterweight division, Baeza versus Hector Aldana. So it's a pretty good fight right here. Hector Aldana, I like him as a fighter, but I guess he keeps getting these bad matchups. Well, you can't really say bad matchups in the UFC, it's sink or swim. But I feel this is another one of these fights that doesn't really match up too well with him. I think Hector Aldana is a solid, talented fighter, decent grappling here and there, a lot of heart, a lot of chin, warrior spirit, power, and all that stuff. But I feel like Baeza is just a more technical, better fighter, and I think he can definitely dominate him in the grappling aspects. And even on the feet, I think he's the more technical fighter. But Aldana does have that power. He can be explosive at times, and he is a warrior. He can make it a war. But I feel like if Baeza keeps it as a technical fight, mixes in the grappling, mixes in striking, and stick to what the coach is going to be wanting him to do, and not get involved in the war, I think this should be a pretty clear cut fight for Baeza. It's still gonna be tough, but I think Baeza can win this one via decision. So in this fight, I got Baeza via decision. Now on to our next fight we have in the bantamweight division, Vera versus Ewell. So looking at this fight, Vera, I think, is just the better fighter at the moment. I think definitely the more well-rounded fighter, grappling, offensively, defensively, is better than Ewell's. Striking, matter of fact, I'm probably going to say Ewell is the better striker. He certainly, when he's on point with his striking, he looks real clean. Boxing looks real clean. Jab looks real clean. He be dodging shots real good. Like, he just looks like a star. Sometimes when he's on the feet, he just looks like a true star. This sometimes when he goes to the ground, you start to see where his weakness is on the ground. But on the feet, he just looks like a star at times. So I would say on the feet, I give Ewell a noticeable edge on the feet. I feel like Vera can not chew, but chain his game together much better, whereas Ewell is more so a striker. He does have some grappling, but as far as like mixing it up, he doesn't really mix it up too well. He might be doing one or the other, mostly striking. Defensively, his grappling isn't the best, but sometimes he manages to make it work and defend himself pretty well, get back to the feet, and go back to doing work. I do feel like Vera's a slow starter, so Ewell can certainly take advantage early, might be able to finish or, set the tone of the fight early, which can, turn the tide of the fight in his favor early. But I feel like Vera, being the veteran he is, I think he can come on late. Probably lose the striking match early, but his fight where he's going to start to mix and take down, make the fight a smothering type of fight, chew up Ewell's leg, because we've seen in one of his previous fights, by attacking his leg, he took away a lot of mobility, made the takedowns easier, and he was able to dominate him that way. So I feel like Vera's going to play the long game, maybe lose the first round, but start to chew up that lead leg, make it harder for Ewell to plan on these punches, make it easier to set up these takedowns, take away some of the defensive Ewell's takedown defense, grappling defense, and just be able to take it to the ground, and then wear on him later in the grappling aspect, and probably get a late third round submission. So in this fight, I got Marlon Vera via third round submission. Now to our next fight we have in the flyweight division, Deiveson Figueiredo versus Tim Elliott. So good fight right here. I don't know where Tim Elliott has been. I think he won the house, fought Mighty Mouse, lost in a very competitive fight in a way. Not too competitive, but he did give a couple scares to Mighty Mouse here and there, but more so all Mighty Mouse in that fight outside of a few exchanges. And then he fought, I forget his name, that other guy, but he lost that fight, got, doing that wild stuff he liked to do, and got caught with a head kick and got dropped. I think he got submitted, I believe, but yeah. And haven't seen him since. That probably was a year or two ago now. I don't think he's fought since. Or maybe I think he lost to Mighty Mouse, then he won a fight, then he lost a fight. By the way, haven't seen him in a minute. Now he's coming back. Deiveson Figueiredo was the boogeyman in the flyweight division, and then he fought Formiga, and then they lost that steam. Then he came back and beat Pantoja, and now he's kind of rebuilding that steam. So all that aside, all that backstory aside, I feel like Tim Elliott's X factor, if he can really implement his grappling. But I feel like Tim Elliott's awkwardness is not going to really favor him too much in this fight. I think Figueiredo is just a straight-up killer kind of a way. He's not going to be too thrown off by what Elliott's doing. No matter what Elliott's doing, he's going to throw power at him. And it's not like he's a Mighty Mouse that, you got to really pick a shot. Every shot Figueiredo lands is going to hurt Elliott. So he's not like, I got to pick this shot, or I can't throw the shot here, I got to be in this position. If Elliott puts something in front of him, he's going to hit it. And I think Elliott can have some success with his grappling. I feel like the power and the timing of Figueiredo's going to be more so than, because Elliott doesn't really have the greatest time and the greatest this or the great athlete. He just is an awkward, goofy dude with some solid grappling and some, not tricky, but he just one of the little wild type of characters. And I think that's not going to favor him too much against Figueiredo. Like I said, Figueiredo's not going to really be playing with him. You give him something, he's going to touch you. And I think Elliott's not going to be able to, weather that, not going to be able to take that power that Figueiredo's bringing. He's going to have maybe a little bit of success here and there, but he's going to be getting cracked a lot for all that stuff he gets away with against a lot of other people. And I think Figueiredo puts him away in the, the middle stage of that second round. So in this fight, I got Deiveson Figueiredo via second round TKO. Now to our next fight we have in the welterweight division, Max Griffin versus Alex Morono. Look at Morono. I never really liked his striking, all these looping, this whirly stuff. Chinny's be right there. I'd be one of the people to knock him out because he was striking me, annoying me. But Morono's a solid fighter, weird striking, weird looking dude, decent grappling. I think he's a black belt actually in grappling. Sometimes it doesn't look like it, but he's a solid grappler, solid fighter. Sometimes you see his experience. A lot of times you see him be a wild, swinging, looping fighter. With that, doesn't really have that much power or that much success with what he's doing, but he sticks around. Then you got Max Griffin, solid striker. I think he was about 5'11", 6 feet tall, something like that. Fights very long. He fights longer than he is. Good striker. I think he's a much more technical striker. And if he fights technical, he should pick apart Morono easily. But Max Griffin has a tendency to get involved in brawls and get involved in emotion. And I can see this fight being a very close, gritty fight. But I feel even with that, Max Griffin's still the more technical fighter. He has a solid chin and a solid heart. And he'll be able to take those shots if they do happen, getting these brawls, and still be landing the cleaner, crisper shots within this kind of a brawl type exchange. I think it's going to kind of more so fall into that. I don't think it's going to be fully a brawl like that, but it's going to be a fight he's going to allow it to be closer than it should be. Or a fight that he can make easy, he's going to make it hard, I would say. I still feel like he's going to be landing crisper, cleaner shots. I think he can be the more have more successful offensive takedowns than Morono in this fight. I don't feel like Morono's offensive takedowns are all that good. I feel like Max Griffin has much better offensive takedowns. I think he should be able to defend the takedown, secure the takedowns, even be able to have success on top for a little bit, not too long. And I feel like he wins this one via decision. So in this fight, I got Max Griffin via decision. Now to our co-prelim headliner we have in the light heavyweight division, Ryan Spann versus Devin Clark. So this is a very interesting matchup right here in the light heavyweight division. Two relatively young guns in the division. Definitely fresh faces in the division. Definitely on the come up and not on the come down. They're trying to make their names and establish themselves in this division. Maybe be this next wave of talent. But yeah, you got Ryan Spann, real long, very slick. I mean, not slick, but very technical striking. Lots of power, lots of talent there. You got Devin Clark. He definitely got some power in his hands. He's definitely a physical specimen in a way. But striking definitely lots of holes defensively and offensively. Big physical wrestler. He's not like a shutdown wrestler, like you could say like a Khabib or, I don't know, a Usman or a Covington. Like when they take you down, they're going to keep you down or they're going to be on you the whole time, relentless, and it's be like a smother fest. Because people can get up from him and they can have success on the feet. He's not like that guy's going to be on you so much that your success on the striking is not going to be there or be so little to nothing. So that's why I feel like a lot of people lean to Spann this one, like, because they feel, oh, even if Clark gets him down, it's just a matter of time for Spann to get just that little bit of time on the feet and just pick him apart because his chin going to be there, hands probably going to be low, probably going to be breathing heavy. Then Spann being a longer, much better striker, much technical striker, just going to see the opportunity and just pick him apart. But what I see in Ryan Spann is that I think in the Luis Henrique fight, his takedown defense really isn't the best. His grappling defense off his back really isn't the best. And I feel like Devin Clark can take advantage of it. I don't think Devin Clark is a shutdown wrestler. He does have solid wrestling and all this and that, but he's not a shutdown wrestler. But I think he still has a solid enough wrestling to put Spann in these positions and maybe take advantage of him against the cage and against on the ground. Probably winning one of these little boring kind of, the fans not gonna like it, decisions type where he just kind of smothered, like a smother fest, but like a boring smother, not a lot of good ground and pound. Just really just laying on there and just winning the points type of fight. Not really truly dominating the fight, but winning one of these gritty, I just win by being on top position type fights or being in the clinch, off control time, more so than actually doing anything with this control time type of fight. And maybe a little bit limited success on the feet, but I think Spann still in those little exchanges probably going to win those exchanges on the feet, but on the ground, like I said, control time is going to win it for Clark. So in this fight, I have Devin Clark via decision. Now on to our prelim headliner we have in the welterweight division, Niko Price versus James Vick. So James Vick is making a jump up to welterweight. Niko Price has been at welterweight. With this fight, I feel like Niko Price can certainly pressure, and like he's not gonna have as much of a height disadvantage as most lightweights against Vick. He's at 6 feet, so he's coming in weight. So Vick's height won't have that same height advantage as he has over most lightweights because they're typically shorter than welterweights because welterweights are bigger. So Niko Price is 6 feet, but still gonna be giving up 3 inches of height to James Vick, despite James Vick coming up like 20 pounds in weight to a new weight class. So Vick still will have a significant height advantage. I feel like Niko Price has a good chance to, cover that range, and it's already seen that Vick gets caught by these hooks or, these misdirection shots. I don't think Niko Price is all that technical of a striker. I think he can certainly find that shot. He certainly has some power. He's certainly a pressuring type of fighter. But all that being said, I feel like James Vick coming up, his chin's going to be a little bit better. I feel like he's the more technical fighter overall, the better striker. Grappling probably about, matter of fact, I get Niko Price the grappling, but I feel like his takedown offense won't be that successful against Vick. And I feel Vick will be able to use the range, be the faster fighter, the sharper fighter. Chin's still going to be questionable, but I feel like coming up, he's going to have more power in his punches. And Niko Price doesn't really have the best head movement. He just kind of eats a shot, gives a shot. And I feel like Vick, with his speed and that newfound power coming up and not having to call the weight, I feel like his shots will have a lot more heat on him. And with Niko Price coming in, like really not respecting people's power or just not really having the ability to really have head movement like he should, I think Vick gonna be cracking with a lot of these shots and hurt him real bad. I feel like Niko Price will be trying to pressure. I think he will have a good shot to land these big shots, especially with Vick backing straight up a lot of times or backing, trying to exit out with his hands down. Niko Price might have opportunities there. But like I said, I don't feel like the grappling aspect, he's going to have too much success with that. It's going to be more so striking match. And I feel Vick is faster. He's going to have more power at this weight class, more chin. Going to be sharper. And I just feel like he'd be the crack Niko Price trying to come in too aggressively and, stun him a couple times. And eventually Niko Price, I don't think he's going to change his game up too much. Maybe go for a desperate takedown or try to, load up and go for a Hail Mary type of shot. And either way, the takedown will get the finish. He's going to get finished with some light, like a volume strikes. Or he's going to get cracked when he try to do this Hail Mary and get cracked with like a straight before his punches. Like Vick's punches gonna be beating him there, and they're gonna be harder than they were at lightweight, and it's gonna be on the money. He's gonna knock Price out. And I think this happens in the second round. I think it's a fun fight, but I think Vick stops him in the second. So in this fight, I have James Vick via second round TKO, and that concludes my fight predictions for the prelims of UFC Fight Night on ESPN Plus, Jedrzejczyk versus Watterson. And as always, thanks for watching.